You a young designer, and that isn't Simon Shaler, because he is not a young designer. He looks after travel,
and neither young nor very good at drawing anything either.
I agree with you there. Abbie Smith, it's lovely to have you join us here in the studio. Now, the fascinating thing is, you're incredibly young. I mean, 13, aren't you now?
Yeah.
Now, tell us, when did you, where did the interest in designing dresses and outfits come from, do you think?
I've always had an interest in art, like ever since I could hold a pencil in my hand, but my mum's a fashion photographer. She loves to experiment using different photos, and she made a couple of designs herself for photo shooting, and that's always inspired me.
So did you, when she was taking pictures, did you always watch and show an interest? Do you think that's where it was born?
Yeah, I think so. I've always loved watching what she comes up with. Like, a picture isn't just a picture, it's more than that, it's a story behind it.
Story behind it. So when did you first put pen to paper and actually think, I could do something that people could perhaps make into something? What was your first garment that you looked at?
The first garment...
Can you remember that?
I think that was when I first got my fashion wheel when I was 10 in London, and you have to spin the wheel for inspiration and time limits, and I think I designed a pink coat with heavy shoulders and a flared bottom.
Oh, I remember those, because I was around when the kicks were around, you see, and they had flares in those days, you see. So, I mean, do you now look at clothes of the past as well when you're trying to design things?
That's the thing that most interests me. I kind of base all my looks around the 60s and 70s because I love all the colours and the vibrance, and that no one cared what they wore. They just put orange and yellow and green and purple together.
I had a purple. Now don't laugh, Simon.
I'll try not to. No,
I had a three-piece purple suit. Now you look at me now. You wouldn't believe that, Abbie, would you? Three-piece purple suit with flared trousers. You wouldn't? Would you think I'd wear that?
Not really.
No. Well, there you are. There's an honest young lady, isn't there, Simon? So that's the inspiration that you get. So, you've entered competitions in the past, have you?
I've entered one competition that you had to base your design around a certain artist, any artist you could choose.
And what was the artist?
I chose Monet, his lily pond paintings, and I made a garment based all around his work and what he was interested in.
So what was the garment that you created for that?
It kind of looked exactly like the painting, but something you would imagine as the dress, so you could see which part, like a pleated top to match the bridge in the picture, and green long willow sleeves just like on the trees in the background.
I've never heard Simon be so quiet, believe me. So
my daughter's really interested in sketching and so forth, but I don't think she can visualise, because some of the skill you must have is be able to match colours and textures and designs all together. So with that sort of thing, do you sit down and think, I'm going to do a suit or a t-shirt or a pair of trousers, or do you start off with the colour or the cut, or how do you work it?
I usually start with my inspiration. I look at different things that help me, for my first collection, it was for a charity fashion show, Help the Heroes, and I thought around that time everyone just wanted peace and no more war, so I based it for hippie with peace and love signs. So I did lots of bright colours to think about the happy things, not the bad things.
That makes sense, because in that era that you're talking about, you're taking it back, your 60s and 70s, they were very up times. There were things that happened that were bad, but people don't remember those. They remember actually a lot of very good times through the 60s. And I can see you drawing on those to actually get your inspiration. I can understand that. And looking back at that time, you're right about the clothes, but it's not just about the clothes. You can look at a record sleeve even, an album sleeve from that time as well. They were bright, they were generally cheerful, they're a bit unusual, some strange, people were painting their faces and doing all sorts of unusual things. It was a very up era, so I can see that. So now, where do you go from there? You've done your first collection, you did your first collection for that one competition. So, you're at school. You're trying to do this thing as well as school. You're back at school. Is it next week you go back?
Yeah.
So that's tough. Have you been doing designing through your holiday?
I've had an exhibition on, so
Wow. So tell us more about the exhibition and what you created for that.
in my exhibition there's all like my work I've done, what started me in designing and what I've done so far, and all the things I want to achieve in there, and all the newspapers I've been in.
That's absolutely superb. So how do you fit it all in? Because most children, they want to go out and play, they want to have fun, instead of sitting sketching. What do you do? I mean, what do you fit round school?
Well, usually I'll sit and draw in school. I do get told off.
Don't tell them, don't tell them. We won't tell them.
Well, if they've heard now. But I'll go home, and if I've got something to do, my mum will make sure I do it, because I'll try and get
Your schoolwork done.
Yeah, but obviously I want to achieve more, so I want to work on something that I know I'm good at and I know I can achieve in.
So what have you? Does it mean to achieve from your young age of 13 to go onwards? Does it mean that you have to put collections together for competitions and keep entering competitions to keep your name there?
Well, I need to keep getting involved with more things. I need to find out what's happening. If someone's having a charity fashion show, I'll need to know about it. So the more I have in to do, the more my name will go out.
So it's getting to, so any charity that's out there at the moment could actually come to you and say, look, you know, we're running a charity show in November, December or whatever, because you must need quite a bit of notice to actually get a collection together. I mean, how much time do you need to put a collection together? You need
2
months.
3 weeks at least.
Can you do that in 3 weeks? That's hard work. With mum helping, I imagine, yeah?
Yeah, on the tricky bits my mum taught me how to sew anyway, so with my mum helps me learn how to do buttons, zips and different tricks and things.
How many sort of pieces of work would you do for a charity exhibition? Would you just stick with one outfit, or would you have 2 or 3 different...
For a collection,
What's a collection?
That's when you've got all
a
the things.
series of dresses that all like complement each other in the colours, so that you can see their collection, but each individual piece is different.
And how many would you do for your, if you were putting one together?
About 10
10 for a collection?
or 13
Wow.
at least.
God, that must be an awful lot of work to do.
Just the design, put together.
Well, the concept would be bad enough. I mean, I can only just sort of think of 2 or 3 things you could do with different colours and so forth. Did you get much help from school friends, or is it all entirely your own, or have you got a group of you that get involved in helping the production? Or is it just your mum?
Me and my mum, but my best friend's really encouraging. She's always like by my side, and she wants to come to more of my fashion shows to support me.
Is she a good critic? Does she sort of say, well, no, that worked really well, Abbie, but that's not really something you want? Or
No,
is
she just compliments me.
She's too nice.
Okay.
She's too nice.
You probably are really good then. I would think that's what it is.
So what, you know, you're in secondary school. Where do you go from there? What you know, have you thought, I would like to go to college, to university? What's your aim?
I really want to go to a fashion college in London. I want to learn more about it, because people just think, oh, fashion's easy, or look, clothes, that matches, that's done. But I want to learn more about it. I want to learn how to do more tricks and learn how to study more fashion.
Do you ever get to any of the big fashion shows? I mean, like the London Fashion Show. Have you ever been to the London? That's something you ought to possibly try and get your mum to take you one year. You know, even write to them and tell them what you're doing at one of the main houses. I think that they might even be interested, and I'm sure they would be interested at such a young age. So it's to get to one of the colleges in London, and then obviously be a fashion designer. You see, we've got to watch this lady Abbie, you know.
Yeah, I know. I should be wearing her clothes. Not actually the clothes she's got on there, because that'd be silly, wouldn't it? But yeah, stuff she's designed, that'd be really good. If you could get in with a big chain and actually get something that was designed by Abbie, you could have your own label and everything, couldn't you? Fantastic. I think it's brilliant. I'm really stunned, because I couldn't draw a straight line with a ruler, and I just think people who've got the imagination to think of different shapes and textures and different designs, I think, particularly in somebody so young, is really, really good.
Is it always ladies' clothing, or do you look at men's clothing as well?
I would like to look at men's clothing in the future, but trousers and shirts and things are quite hard to do, since I haven't got the ability to make shirts yet. I haven't found that out.
So perhaps you could start to look at the design of those, you know, the textures and the colours and the design, even though perhaps you haven't got the ability of putting the garments together. That's a thought, isn't it?
Yeah.
As you said, you like flares and colours, and again, you could create some very interesting things, and shoes as well. I mean, there's some great ways you can design shoes. I remember I was with a guy recently, and he had some hand-painted shoes. They were like in a suede material, and then they had hand-painted, and they had they had words across them. And because I'm a gardening trade, they were actually all linked to gardening, and I've never seen a pair of shoes like it in my life. But I thought, this man was, you know, interestingly dressed, and these shoes just fitted the part. And it's the sort of thing that I can't imagine it. I look at people and think, wow, you know, that is great. And that's what you're doing, isn't it? You're looking for things all the time.
And then my mum would enjoy me making shoes.
she's got a big collection, has she?
Big.
A big collection, is she? I like that. If I mean, obviously we don't want to give out your information, your phone number. I mean, have you actually got a website yet at all, or not?
I have a Facebook page.
And is that safe for people to go on? So it's to do with your designing.
Yeah.
Right. So let's give out the Facebook address then. How can people find it?
If you type in the search bar on Facebook, Amis Designs, it should come up.
Amis Designs. That's do you have to put any dots in?
No.
It's just AMIS Designs.
Yes.
Amis Designs. Yeah?
Yeah.
I reckon that is superb, and I just wish you so well, and I hope that I can be here in a few years' time and invite you back in when you're more famous, because more famous, because I think she's famous already, don't you, Simon?
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, fantastic. Brilliant.
So thank you very much for coming in today, and I wish you ever so luck in the future.
Thank you very much.
And good luck in this next collection. And just a reminder that anybody who's doing a charity event in the future, they can go onto your Facebook page and just contact you, and you'd be interested with working with them. Yeah, they are Amis Designs. Simple as that. Thanks very much indeed, Amy.
Thank you.
Abbie's. I'm calling her Amy now. It's Amy's Design.
You might want to knit something for a brain for Ken, because this one's gone now. So.
Thanks very much, Abbie.
Thank you.